3,600 times. 3,600. This disgusting human being right here, Great, drop the G, his foster daughter nearly 4,000 times and got her pregnant at the young age of 12. Trigger warning for this video. So a foster father has reportedly pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a young child for over 10 years and getting her pregnant while she lived in his house of horrors. And sadly, his wife did nothing and she turned a blind eye. So Roger and Darlene Berriault were arrested last year in 2024. This was in Connecticut, and this was after their former foster daughter came forward about the horrible abuse that she suffered from 2005 to 2012. The victim was identified as being named Crystal, and she is now an adult. According to reports, she was put into this disgusting couple's care when she was only 10 years old. This was after her foster mom, Nikki Therault, moved and left the girl to live with the couple. Roger had already allegedly sexually assaulted Crystal in Nikki, the first foster mom's home, but she still was sent to live with them anyway. This is according to a complaint filed by her attorney. It was said, though, that the Berriaults were not Crystal's legal foster parents, and that Child and Family Services didn't find out she was living with them until a year later. Listen to this. This is another failure for Child and Family Services. What do you know? Imagine that. So they didn't find out that Crystal was living with Roger, DCF didn't, until after they were notified that Roger was being investigated for sexually assaulting yet another girl. But the civil complaint reportedly says that despite the allegations against this man, Roger, and DCF's own admissions that they were concerned that Crystal was being SA'd by him, DCF struck up a deal with Nikki, the first foster mom, and the Berriaults that allowed Crystal to remain in the Bristol, Connecticut home of Darlene's sister named Amy Sieber, and that was while Roger's situation of SAing another girl was being investigated. But it was said despite Crystal now being in Amy's care, Roger was still off and alone with her and continued to SA her. Unreal. Then in 2008, it was reportedly approved for Crystal to live with and move in with Berriaults. And that was when it was revealed that she was pregnant with Roger's baby. Oh my gosh. The civil complaint said that the years-long abuse took place in the home where several people were aware of it and that it was happening, including Darlene, Roger's wife, and her mom, Dawn Barkley. The complaint alleges that Darlene knew about the abuse for 11 years and failed to report her husband Roger's actions even when the young girl Crystal got pregnant. The document says she willingly hid and covered up his abuse. So Crystal said she told Darlene, his wife, about the abuse when she was 11 years old. She said that Darlene stared at her in the eyes and just looked at her blankly and then stood up and walked away. Crystal said she didn't know what to think because she thought surely Darlene was going to look into it or something, but she didn't. Crystal further claimed that this disgusting abuse took place every single day and that Roger took every opportunity he could to assault her. She said that included the pool, the downstairs where he was living at the time, their motor home, anywhere. After Crystal gave birth to their daughter at the young age of 13, she continued to have to live with that family for 8 long freaking years. She said that her morning routines would consist of making Roger coffee and peanut butter and jelly toast, and then lying in bed with him so that he could drop the G her. She said that the first 2 times she was abused, she cried, but after that, she just laid there thinking to herself no one was ever going to protect her. Unbelievable. In 2023, she reported the abuse to police, and Roger and Darlene were charged with several different charges, including emotional distress, negligence, sexual assault, sexual abuse, and exploitation. Roger was finally arrested last year in 2024 for first-degree sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor. His nephew also reportedly made a statement to police agreeing that the abuse took place. He claimed that Roger groomed his foster daughter by making her get dressed in front of him every day and bringing him breakfast in bed every day where he would be lying in bed naked and she would have to climb in with him. He slept naked. I know you don't want to know that. I didn't. The nephew said he never witnessed these assaults, but that his Uncle Roger's behavior was gross and that it was clear the abuse took place. It was further said that there are text messages from 2015 where Roger sent Crystal some and he stated that he loved her and that he gave her a beautiful daughter to raise. So in addition to the cases against Darlene and Roger, Crystal and her attorney also filed a lawsuit against the Department of Children and Families, and that's for errors that allowed Crystal to be in their care for over a decade. Good for them. Not surprised DCF allowed this to happen, though. They're useless. They're good for nothing. This is absolutely unbelievable, and it should have never happened. The sheer fact he had prior allegations of sexual abuse from another girl should have made it clear he shouldn't even have the opportunity to be a foster parent. My heart hurts for Crystal for having to go through that sick abuse for over a decade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For more true crime, be sure to follow and subscribe on YouTube.